think it's my first time performing any of my poetry in public in general. And the one rule that I had when I texted Marumbo about this is that I did not want to go after him, and I certainly did not want to go directly after him. Thank you, Marumbo, for that. So this is a series of mostly short and one kind of longer poem about love of places, love of people, and how that can change us. So the first one is about Kigali, the sun's love. The cat's breathing, the clock of her frail mortality, her happy grumble as she lounges next to me, unaware of anything we call weekend or Sunday or Easter or Kwibuka or Passover. The sweet juice of the mango humming to the tune of the sweet birds adorning the trees of the backyard, encouraging me to join in the song. The sun crowns the tree crowns the ground, its shade a circle around its roots. The sun loves the country of 1,000 hills. It pauses overhead at midday, counting each one, loving each hill's inhabitants, before it passes on towards my home, long away across the ocean. How can you help but love what the sun touches? The banana trees with their explosion of leaves sticking out in every direction like they were late to their work of existing and hadn't a comb at hand. The rainwater ditches carving space for the high walls of homes, moats to the castles of Kigali. The carefully painted black and white checkers on the sidewalks, measuring out paces around the curves of the hills, a gesture towards straight lines in a place that does not heed north or east or south or west, only up, down, around, and between. The red-vested motos whizzing by and the myriad people of this city at their backs. Some sit stoically with arms folded, trusting the mastery of the man at the helm. Others, pale with fear or just with foreignness, cling desperately. The men pushing bikes up hills, loaded with more metal or bananas or bottles or potatoes or jerry cans than you could imagine. It's hard work to build a country. But Abanyarwanda, uniformed in their dignity, outfitted in the pride of the achievement that surrounds them, rise to meet that work every day. How can you help but love who the sun touches, each and every one? The cat's breathing in my fear counts down. The sun loves us all, each of us with our breaths counting down. This next one is, this next one is about loving someone so hard that it hurts because you don't want to see them go. And not in a romantic way, you'll understand in a second. Cringe at the rolling trundle of his walk, the hunching slope of his shoulders. It's an exciting sound effect here. This hunching slope of his shoulders, the hollow look in his eyes as he focuses on every step. He cannot afford any but the right ones. I hate the slowness of his driving, as if to him the whole world is laced with caution signs that preclude vision. I hate the labor that is his breathing as he focuses on what his doctor told him. You need to take care of yourself. You've been breathing the wrong way. As if somehow he has not made it as long as he has. I hate the way he has shrunk before me. Once he could have filled the world to my eyes, now the mountain of his shoulders slopes down to less and less. I remember this every time I remember his home, so vast, so full of art and a remembered life, but all too empty now. His nest is empty and he's transplanted to ours. For all my hate, I cannot help but bite and snarl. I'm clenched jaw blind with the sound of his steps, his breathing, his too loud phone for his overgrown ears. I hate most that I hurt him in my hurt. I know my anger weathers his heart more than time ever could. His name is Diamond. Would that he could last as long. This next one is a very short one. It was a Valentine's gift for someone, and something that I believe very strongly about how love endures even when we are apart from the people we love. Love is not the flower that blossoms only in spring. Love is in the stem, the growth that sun may bring. When day is dim and all the petals discarded, trust the sap in the limb, that's where love is guarded. The year is turned, from the roots come power. meeting for that which it's yearned. Love is crowned with flowers. That's it. Thank you, Alon. And now this last one is about dating myself. It's about finding myself after a hard breakup and figuring out the people I love, including myself. Imagine being caught late to a blind date, there with yourself in your own body. Imagine the thought, this conversation is not going well. This man is an oddity. You and yourself like members of a group, alone on your own for the first time, like words in a phrase that don't rhyme, embarrassed that you haven't a clue what to do. Friends or lovers alone can create a silence this hurt, separated by unkindest words anger can blurt. But you are the only friend you can betray before you've even met or gone astray. To yourself again and again you've been sold, but loving yourself isn't as simple as being told. See, when you're dating yourself, it's not enough that your friends love you. You have to, too. And grandmother tried to tell you true. Be good company, even when asleep, for your life's the only company. Yours is the only company you'll always keep. So what is it that stops you? I'm afraid of the discomfort of my own skin, my soul's clothing not yet worn in. More than that, I'm afraid to try to love me, myself, and I, scared of the love I could have, but not knowing why. I'm timid with myself like a crush. Do you know what that is, a crush? A lack of knowledge, being drawn to draw an image of a person with none of the messy details, not trusting life to give you a tale better than you could ever imagine was true. Flesh and blood beyond what you could conjure, an imperfect being who still chose to love you, and you her. But to get to know a crush takes faith. Place your idol of them onto an altar. Remain idle as they begin to alter themselves. Prepare for a bitter distaste. They're not who you thought. You are not who you thought. And then both leave with nothing got. So I spent years covering myself in plaster, building myself as a monument to the disaster of living with others' expectations as my cell, fearing to fill my lungs and threaten my shell. I tried to make people into automatons, robots with human faces to make safe predictions on. Most of all, I wanted comfortable love, for the ways I thought I'd be approved of, for power, muscle, money, for always having a plan, for all the things I'm told to be proud of as a man. But then she took a chisel to my plaster, not to shape me with, but to reveal what I had already grown into beneath. She loved me in all the ways I was uncomfortable, for my love of shiny objects and clothes and beauty in general. She loved me because I seek to love people like a pilgrim in the desert seeks water. She loved me because I couldn't scare someone if I tried, because in everything I let curiosity be my guide. She loved me for my gentleness, for my whimsy, but above all, she loved me for me. She knew me before I did and made the introduction. I learned how to love myself under her instruction. And after her, it wasn't a blind date. There's anxiety along the journey called friendship, a longing to assert where you belong, a realization that seeing your friend's face is like coming home, and being nervous you'll say something wrong. But security is a friend, proud to claim you and your name. And now I look in the mirror and I feel the same.